Good morning. You may have heard it while you were sleeping. We're talking about this near golf ball size hail that fell across the metro area last night. Some even measured up to the size of a baseball. Oof. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Corey Rose.
Yeah, and I'm Anusha Roy. This is a look at a couple more storm photos that you've been sending in. A lot coming in from the metro area right now, and I can imagine that was scary as you were hearing that overnight. We are going to be joined by 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez this morning. And Brianna, you've been kind of tracking some of the damage. You're in the Green Valley Ranch area. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, good morning, guys. So we actually drove to Central Park Boulevard and 56th Avenue. So it's about 10 minutes, 12 minutes away from here. A very different story than what we're seeing right now in Green Valley Ranch. So I do want to show you what we're seeing. Here are some of the side streets in these neighborhoods. It looks like it's covered in snow, but that's all that hail. Some of the sizes that we're seeing from that hail, they're very tiny, actually. You can barely take these out. But yeah, they're very tiny, different from what we were seeing from the viewers that were sending us the pictures. And then right next to me, you can see that it's kind of melting off because we're seeing that water and then just very tiny pieces of hail. Luckily, when we were driving from Central Park Boulevard all the way down to Tower Road by 56th Avenue, we were noticing some of the vehicles. Luckily, the windshields of these vehicles have not been cracked. We've seen about one or two, which I do want to show you right now. You can see this black vehicle, some cracked windshields in this area as well, and then dents from this vehicle. So luckily, it's not as bad over here in Green Valley Ranch than we've noticed on social media. So if you do have pictures, send them to us. We really do want to check out the areas that have these damages. So let us know if your neighborhood was affected. But for now, I'm live here in Green Valley Ranch. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News. I'm going to send things over to Ed Green.
And thank you, Bree. Yeah, as far as the weather goes, if you were about from where I'm standing to the north, you really had a hailstorm. In fact, I saw a couple of cars leaving from my neighborhood because I'm in that area. They looked like they could be in the Rose Bowl parade with all the vegetation all over them, leaves stuck to them from that big hailstorm. We do see showers and thunderstorms again possible over the eastern plains and elevated risk. And as we take a look at tomorrow, boy, it just doesn't change much. Again, some chances for big storms out on the eastern plains yet again. We do see temperatures right now only in the 40s and 50s over the eastern plains. We've got 20s and 30s higher up, and we've got some 50s over on the western slope. So today, mostly cloudy skies. Do have a chance for those scattered late storms. And again, if you could be heavy out east, 75 will be our high today. Then tomorrow we warm it up a little more with more in the way of isolated showers and thunderstorms. 1 or 2 could be heavy out east. 90 your Sunday with partly cloudy skies. Lots of sunshine Monday. More of the same. We'll see 88 on Tuesday with an isolated storm. And by Wednesday, 87 degrees, staying warm with partly cloudy skies.
And we're going to be covering the impacts of this storm all morning long. Remember, you can stay up to date on the weather forecast using our 9 News app. It is free to download in the Apple and Google Play stores. For now, let's get a check of the road conditions with Erica Lopez. You've had a busy couple days on the roads as well.
Yeah, and actually kicking things off good and quiet at 503, which is lovely to see on our interstates this hour. C470 traveling 285 looking fantastic. A few cars out here at 225 and I-Lift right now. I-70 and 32nd Avenue moving nicely. Same thing goes for Highway 36 and Wadsworth. So we want to take you to the map right now and show you what that is looking like. Lots and lots of green. Actually, this just popped up in the last couple seconds. Looks like some sort of stalled vehicle along I-25 and 84th. But aside from that, we are pretty much quiet out here. Travel into Commerce City in the green on westbound 76, both sides of 225 in the green, and no problems on westbound I-70 for your drive between E470 and 76.
Thank you. New this morning, a man in Fort Collins is facing arson charges after police say he set fire to a building on Stamford Road. The incident happened on Wednesday around 10 p.m. Police say the Poudre Fire Authority responded to the fire on the first floor of the apartment complex. Officials say there were multiple reports that the fire was started by a resident. When police got there, the suspect, Spencer Butler, ran from them. Police later found him near College Avenue. The fire was contained to his apartment and no injuries were reported.
This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
Former President Donald Trump is now a convicted felon. This is the first time in U.S. history that a former president was convicted of a crime. A Manhattan jury found Trump guilty of all 34 charges of falsifying business records related to a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Prosecutors said that this was done to cover up the affair and influence the 2016 election. Trump's sentencing is set for July 11th. That is just days before the start of the Republican National Convention. The former president still faces 3 other cases. He has pleaded not guilty to all of those charges.
A lot of people are asking what happens next, especially when it comes to the presidential election. MSU Denver political science expert Rob Preuss says you shouldn't expect this conviction to dissuade any voters. Preuss says the jury's verdict will likely solidify how both sides campaign.
In some ways, it's going to energize the Republicans a bit. It's going to solidify some of the votes of the Democrats. It may move some independents. But in terms of the big picture, the narrative, not going to change that much.
Experts say expect Trump's jury conviction to be appealed. That will likely take a year or 2 to be resolved. Coming up at 5:15, NBC's Bree Jackson joins us live with what's next for the former president. And at 7:49 News legal analyst Scott Robinson joins us in studio for a breakdown of the conviction.
The 6 GOP candidates running for a seat in Colorado's 4th congressional district all say that they are standing by Trump. All said that they would be voting for Trump even though he's now a convicted felon. But only Congresswoman Lauren Boebert stood by trying to overturn the 2020 election to keep Trump in power. It was clear the other candidates viewed her as a front runner. Kyle Clark and Marshall Zollinger asked Boebert if she risked making a second safe Republican seat competitive. She nearly lost her current seat before moving across the state to run for a new one.
We did have a very close election, but we also had 50,000 Republicans not show up to vote. I do not believe me being here is making this a vulnerable seat. This is a huge move for conservatives in Colorado.
So just to be clear, Ms. Boebert, you blame Republican voters for the fact that you nearly lost a safe seat and not your own conduct.
When 50,000 Republican voters do not show up and think that their vote does not matter, that does make an impact on elections.
I do think it is vulnerable. I think the day of that will never happen in Colorado is long gone. And I think it's time that we have someone in this seat, which is one of the reasons why I'm running, where we can rebuild the party, where we can make it the big tent again. We can invite people to join us, and we can persuade our neighbors that we don't see them as the enemy.
The voter makeup in Congressional District 4 is 47% unaffiliated, 35% Republican, and 17% Democrats.
It's 5:08 right now. Texas continues to get pummeled by severe weather. Flash flooding is now the big problem for parts of North Texas. This is a look at some of the conditions right now in McKinney. This is about 33 miles north of Dallas. You can see drivers there trying to make it through all of the high water. These storms come just days after severe weather took down trees and snapped power lines, leaving thousands in the dark across the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. Right now, more than 100,000 people are still without electricity. Midland, Texas is still reeling from severe weather as well. This DK gas station was completely wrecked by last night's storm. Strong winds caused the top carport above the gas pumps to fall down, as you can see. The National Weather Service says a tornado was spotted moving between Midland and Odessa. Large hail was also reported throughout the area. So far, no injuries have been reported. Hawaii has launched a new power shutoff program that would cut off electricity to some areas in extreme weather conditions. The state's Division of Consumer Advocacy says this can prevent wildfires caused by downed power lines. That's what happened last year when a wildfire disaster killed more than 100 people in Lahaina. The new program goes into effect July 1st. It's based on a similar program California put in place in 2012.